Digital ascent, we're climbing high. Voices in the ether, touch the sky. With tech and games and culture bright. Come along with us, ignite the night. Sean's got the joystick, he's ruling the zone. Gaming world's his digital throne. From pixels to planets, he's never alone. In the realms we conquer, the seeds are sown. Jordan's gaming flair, he's got the beats. Pixel quests and high score feats. Pop culture vibes with endless repeats. In our podcast, he's on the streets. Digital ascent, we're climbing high. Voices in the ether, touch the sky. With tech and games and culture bright. Come along with us, ignite the night. Ignite the night. Ignite the night. Tune in tight to the digital roar. Brent's got tech, he's laying the lore. From circuits and chips to the cyber core. Plug in and we'll give you more. Maps on the edge, watch those pixels fall. He cracks the code, solves it all. Dark web secrets, firewalls tall. In the cyber jungle, here's the call. Digital ascent, we're climbing high. Voices in the ether, touch the sky. With tech and games and culture bright. Come along with us, ignite the night. Digital ascent, we're climbing high. Voices in the
Good evening, folks. Hello. It is that day again. We're here live again. And we have a new face, a new bearded face too on the screen.
Hello, new bearded face.
New bearded face.
Who approved this
bearded
guy?
face.
Hey, who let this guy in here? I don't know.
I don't know. All right, cool. Well, this episode was this 0038.
This is
Right.
38.
All right, we got a bunch of cool stuff on the hook for tonight. I got some gaming stuff, and then we're gonna be talking security. I know, big surprise, we never talk security here, but we got some stuff, at least one public service announcement regarding some of the security stuff that might be useful even to non-security folks. With that, we'll go ahead and do the first topic. First topic is hello, Brandon.
Hello,
Welcome
guys.
Welcome to the party. Brandon is a good friend of both Brent and mine and Sean and Jordy's. We've all known Brandon. Gosh, man, it's got to be like 6-7 years now.
Since 2018.
Yeah, I've worked with Brandon for, 4 years. I worked with Brent maybe around the same time. And he brings with him, a wealth of knowledge about, IT stuff, MSPs. He's really strong on the, business side and operational front. So he rounds us out very nicely here. And so, Brandon, we're glad to have you here. Thank you for joining.
Glad to be here.
We hope to continue to see you episode after episode, as is the plan. And with that, I'll kind of turn it over to you, man, and give you tell us a bit about yourself. What should we know?
Yeah. I am a Floridian, so I'm a Florida man. I have at one point recently seen somebody just standing on the side of the road eating a pizza out of a full pizza box. because that's just what Florida
was
does.
it me?
Right.
I got 4 kids. I got 6 cats. I got a turtle. Actually, technically, right now I have 12 cats.
Wait, hold on.
Wow.
What do you mean, brother? You just said 6. I don't
Yeah,
count
yeah.
no good, but how do we get to 12?
We're fostering a cat with her litter that was
Okay.
just born. And so I've
Okay.
got a cat named Toffee, just completely black, and then 5 almost all black kittens, and they're adorable. They just opened their eyes. See, I would, if I had like infinite resources and patience, I would have more than 6 cats because I love animals. I love cats. But I can't. So I get that fixed by fostering.
That's
And
so many cats.
it is.
I couldn't do it. My wife
so I
would
like
keep every
cats.
single one.
Brett just be like, N+1 cats, please. N+1 cats,
Yep.
please.
It's called a foster fail. When you end up keeping one that you're fostering, they call it a foster fail, and they kind of give you a hard time about it. Because we did keep one. We had it was another cat with a litter of kittens, and it was a tabby, an orange tabby, and he, on the way to drop them all off, Dessa reached back to like pet him, and he grabbed onto her hand and wouldn't let go. And I was like, okay, we're adopting him. So
That's the end of that.
oh
We
yeah,
keep this cat forever.
I like video games. I like technology, and I like reading. I love fantasy. That's really it. There's not a whole lot
Read
more.
any good fantasy books recently?
I just finished. So there's a series called The Wandering Inn
Mm-hmm.
that has like 13 books, and each of the I listen to books. I read books by listening to it on Audible. But there's a series called The Wandering Inn, and they're like 40 to 60 hours long. And I just finished book 7. I like it. It's a pretty good series. And then Dungeon Crawler Carl is actually one I would recommend people check out. It is really, really good. That's the series.
Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Carl.
I just murdered it just like you did trying to say it. Why is that so hard to say? It's weird.
So it's if you aren't familiar, there's a whole genre of fantasy and probably sci-fi too, but it's generally fantasy called lit RPG. That is like taking gaming systems and putting the you show up in a world that's like a gaming system and it has whatever. I think that there's a Japanese isekai. Is that the word? Anyway, I think that's like either an anime or a Japanese trope of being like put into this world where you have to level up. So yeah, lit RPG, pretty cool genre, but there's god awful amount of garbage too. Like if you look up like how many books there are, there's probably like 10,000.
That guy that you mentioned's got 8 in that series.
The Dungeon.
Yeah, the
that
Dungeon
one,
Crawler
DCC.
Carl. Yeah.
And that one's, if I had to say, that's probably one of the best examples of lit RPG, and it's hilarious. Like it literally makes
Goodreads. I mean, has got hella reviews that are 4.5 stars and above for really all of them, which is crazy because sometimes you see in that long of a series, like halfway through, you see them falling off, but this is consistent all the way through. That's crazy. I might have to give it a try, man. I don't read enough. I read every now and then, like in tandem with something that Mandy's reading. In like long running series that, are releasing books every couple of years, but yeah, that's about it. And then like, better yourself, better the business, that sort of crap. But
I try those, but I get really, really bored like 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
Or 10 pages in, whichever comes first.
My favorite that I read in recent memory anyways, and by recent memory, it's like in the last couple of years, it was the Phoenix Project. I did enjoy that.
That one was not bad. Yeah, that one was recommended me by a coworker, and I
read
read
pretty
it,
decent.
and it wasn't trash. And you know, they call out the security guy there pretty harshly in that book. I was not in security at the time, but they called out the security guy pretty harshly in that book. And it was even now a really good lesson about not being too rule bound or so rule bound that you prevent the business from operating.
Yeah.
Which is like a struggle that, I think some security professionals struggle with. I mean, like, look, man, you can always find a thing to struggle with, but that's one I think that really stuck with me. You guys ever read the Magic 2.0 books by chance?
I have not.
There's a series.
Is that a Magic the Gathering?
It is not. So it's a
Okay, then no.
it's a silly book series, but it's about this like dude and or set of dude and dudettes that like uncover magic. And the reason why I put it in quotes is because magic isn't like the cast a spell type magic. It's like I found the source code to reality and I hacked, and like I hack reality. And like a dude does most of his. You have
I've read
it?
some like that. I don't know if it's been that one or not. I've read a lot of books and I get a little bit confused.
Yeah, that's fair. I like, man.
Is that
I like
the one that's like, so you want to be a wizard or something?
Off to Be the Wizard is the first book.
Off to Be the Wizard.
Yeah, and
I at least started it.
Yeah, man, it's pretty fun. They got Off to Be the Wizard, Spell or High Water, an Unwelcome Quest. It's pretty good. I'm gonna have to pick it back up. Currently, I'm working my way through Wheel of Time. Still,
I've gone. Have you ever read it before? Or
yes,
is this your first time?
Yes, this is my second run through the Wheel of Time. It does not get shorter the second time, but I do know who all the secondary characters are now. And like I can keep them straight. First run I like barely could keep, first characters, straight in my head. Now
What
I
book you
on? 12, I think. I'm rounding out 11 or 12. I can't remember which one.
So you're about to get to where it gets good again, because once Robert Jordan sort of lost the plot there toward the end before he passed away.
I don't know.
It wasn't that it was bad. It just was long.
Yeah. So that's like the problem.
You got into the heart of winter, and it just went on and on.
Yeah,
and by
that
the time,
winter did go on forever, didn't it?
It lost me twice. I've read through the series twice and stopped around book 10 or 11 both times.
But hey, man.
And then just skipped to like 13.
Because I will say Brandon Sanderson picked it up. He did a good job. He's like Brandon Sanderson, good guy in terms of writing, in my opinion. I just really happy with that.
I enjoy it.
So cool. Well, that was off in the weeds, but it is
a good off in the weeds.
It was good. We should probably put some of these in chat in case somebody go ahead and drop your wandering in and whatever catcher.
I haven't been able to figure out how to get to Twitch chat.
Okay. Well, I guess ship them to me and I'll put them in there. Apparently I'm not signed into Twitch, so I can't do that. Brent,
I'll figure it out eventually. I have worked in IT for 20 years. So
Brent, go ahead and put my stuff in chat for me.
Let's see here. Copy link.
Yeah. That's a butchered link from Amazon. What you doing, Amazon? Just give me the dang Wheel of Time series.
Oh, they got to embed everything. Where you clicked it from, how they're going to track you.
They really did in this one, though. And like, I'm about ready to not link this because it's unpalatable. Whatever.
Now, since I was...
What'd you say, buddy?
Whatever. Since I was talking last, I didn't know if y'all were waiting for me to
push
it on to the next topic.
No, I'll take it. So with that in mind, we're going to segue into other things we like, and we're going to talk a little bit about what games we're playing. Hopefully we'll be doing this a little more often, and it'll give us an opportunity to offer, small little reviews, insights, recommendations, or whatever. I'll go ahead and get started off. I've been playing Avowed. I'm very slowly working my way through that game. I already talked about it on stream, so I won't, stick on that one too long, but it's going well, man. It's a good game. Obsidian has once again done like a good job, giving an interesting world. I do find they have packed it so full of things to like find in nooks and crannies. I find myself working the map from north to south or east to west instead of my normal like go to the spot and explore around the area and like little circles. So that's pretty crazy because I don't usually do that. I'm also working through Split Fiction with the wifey. We finally finished up Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars gets like a full-throated, recommendation from me. The game was great. I do not usually play JRPGs, but I played the hell out of that one. And me and wifey, put in like 40 hours on it. It was 40 great hours. It was her first JRPG. So, that was a good experience. My first JRPG in, I don't know, 10 years. And the fact that we finished it's awesome. Like I said, we're working our way through Split Fiction. Do not like it as much as It Takes Two.
Really?
Yeah. I think
Why?
it's significant. I'm actually going to give it like It Takes Two is amazing. And this one's only pretty good so far. So, the story's solid. No beef there. I have two beefs. One is that one of the things, so, wifey been gaming with me now for years at this point. She's not a gamer necessarily, but she's been putting in time and she has never had me beat a single thing for her. Not once. I basically refuse to do it, but she doesn't ask either. And she hit a point in Split Fiction where they're doing a flying type event. And, first complaint is that she really she needs to invert her fly controls because she just doesn't think about it like the yoke of a plane. And so it just doesn't work for her. I couldn't find anywhere to toggle and invert on flying. So, okay, that was mechanically hard for her because it just goes against her instincts. And then the second one is that it was just outright challenging to achieve some of the rings that she was supposed to fly to. And eventually after, 20 tries on the same thing, succeeding, and then proceeding to have to try 20 tries on literally the next of 30 rings. She was just like, I'm done here. And she did the flying stuff and It Takes Two. No problem. We did both roles and It Takes Two, and she did her flying, her turn in the pilot seat, no problem. I think that we each probably biffed it equal times in our own ways. So,
Congrats, Matt. You did your gesture on the Mac with your thumbs up.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
How come I didn't do it?
Hold it up higher. Let's see if it picks it up. There you go.
Shut the F up. Can I
For
give it a
anybody that
down?
didn't know, he's got a Mac now that he's streaming with.
Oh, wow. I'm going to do an obscene gesture. Everyone avert your eyes if you don't want it. Okay.
Let's see if it does anything. It'd be funny if a bird flew through or something.
No, nothing. Okay, I'm done with the obscene gesture. You can unavert your eyes now.
To your point, though, I will say Split Fiction is in my mind, it's much harder.
It's way harder
than It Takes Two.
And I think one of the roles is much harder than the other role. I think that they look
the secondary role has some parts where it's
the secondary role is much harder. And wifey picked the second role, and it wasn't until the third or fourth, we made it 3 stories in, so probably 5 to 6 hours in. And then I was like, damn, this is hard. I have what is considered a much easier role here. All I have to do is swing my sword at the thing and jump and avoid the rings coming at me. And then when wifey kicks something at me, I swing the sword. And what she has to do is avoid the multitude of flying objects coming at her, crashing onto the ground, and subsequently pick up and then turn, aim, and throw at this moving object, right? Which, for me sounds like a good time and a solid challenge. I'm down for the cause, but wifey a little more frustrated with that situation with the eye key.
It's funny because I know exactly the encounter you're talking about too.
It's a hard encounter, isn't it? The pace is really fast of the stuff
so
coming
odd.
in.
It feels
Or
so
the
odd that they
secondary.
would do that because the second player is usually going to be the person who isn't
No, man,
the gaming lead
they-
kind of person.
they very clearly load it to like the primary player is pink and the secondary player is green. And I think in It Takes Two, I think the primary player was the chick. Like these games are built around the concepts. I mean, they feel built around the concepts that the guy is going to like try to pick this up and play it with his girlfriend or wife or non-gaming partner. And, they stick green on the harder roll. So it means hard instead of go, I guess. So I don't know. Anyways, that's my thoughts on it. I mean, it's still a good game. I still recommend it, but I wish it would have come with a disclaimer or a warning. So I don't know. All right, Brandon, you're up. What you playing, dog?
I have been playing an indie game called Minecraft.
Never heard of it.
and, Yeah.
Is that like is that a big one? I don't know.
I do remember like 20, maybe 2010. I remember like the guys I was working with at the time talking about, oh dude, there's this Minecraft game and it's so awesome. And I'm just like, you have to go through like this website to buy it. And it's just, it was really cool. But yeah, I've been, I started a realm with my boys and it's just been zen, like I've been job hunting and what like in between the stressful times, just going in there and just
Yep.
and I've been figuring out how railroad systems like I've played it in the past quite a lot here and there, but I've always like just did the basics, but I've been figuring out how enchanting works and how railroads and all of the different rails and I've just built like a what is it, bamboo farm that should be automated but probably won't work, but hey, whatever. So I've been playing lots of Minecraft, and then I started 1000 times resist. Have either of y'all played that?
No.
No.
So Humble, their monthly program has that and a couple of others that I've been wanting, like Diplomacy is Not an Option and a couple others. So I plunked down the $13 to get all these games that I would eventually buy at some point. It is
Humble, good deal, man.
I can't. It's really hard for me to explain. It's a very narrative, story based kind of sci-fi. And I'm not far enough into it where I really understand what's going on, but the way it tells the story is unique to anything I've ever played before. And I'd heard that from other people. That's why it got my attention. But to my knowledge, like so far, there's been no combat at all. Some jump scares, and God, I'm a wuss when it comes to jump scares. So we'll see. It's not even really jump scares as much as just an atmosphere. Like it's just a little bit left of center when it comes to it. But yeah, great game. I recommend trying it out. And like I said, the Humble choice this month has a lot of it. Has Dredge, which is like a HP Lovecraft horror fishing game.
That game looks so boring, man.
Dredge?
Man, I looked
it's on
at
my
it
list to play.
and I was like, oh, why is this game so boring?
I mean, people said it kind of it was a little bit
You
scary,
just-
so I probably won't play it.
You're just fishing, right?
I don't know. That's
I think it's
but
more,
the
it's a little bit more
Diplomacy
to
is
it
Not
than
an
that.
Option is like a base builder, city builder kind of game. But they got a few in there.
I
But
think
yeah,
that one
that's
looks
two I've
cool.
been playing. Brent?
Real quick, I do want to, say hey to Marla. Yes, we did bring sheep. Marla says, dang, is that Santa? Went from Brent Jr. to Santa. And then, so yes, we did onboard Santa. We feel like maybe bringing Santa on board will, help the numbers a little bit, get some more followers.
I
heard
had a
he's pretty
client
popular.
call me Santa, and
That's
I felt
hilarious.
like I had finally achieved something.
There it is. There it is. She also said, where is Sean? We did not approve his PTO. Hey, man. I don't I don't know what to say, man. Sean needed a night off, and I guess we gotta let him have it. You know what we're gonna do?
Have to take a look at that PTO calendar.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then she says, "What up?" Or I said, "What up, Marla?" She said, "Hello, Matthew." Hello, Marla. It's good to see you.
And she gave some context for Brandon just in case he forgot.
Not that anyone could forget Marla.
I was trying to figure it, and then
No. He didn't forget.
Marla is the
Nobody
number
can
one
forget
mod of
I
every
can't
Twitch
remember
streamer.
Number one mod. She just is.
Can't remember
She's
anything.
awesome. We're just glad to have her around. Thanks for joining us, Marla. We appreciate it. Brent, what you doing, brother?
I wanted to shout out to the Minecraft movie. The Minecraft movie was great. I enjoyed that.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna bomb, brother.
I liked it a lot.
I thought I was like, that shit.
Blew it out of the water money wise, which
whoa!
I laughed.
I thought it looked not so great. Maybe I just don't know.
It does not take itself seriously at all.
Right.
I mean, it is trying to be stupid, but when
that helps,
when it got to the point where Jack Black is riding a Jason Momoa flying through the air, steering him with his hair, I was like, this is all I need in my life.
Yeah. It's just a lot of fun. And we went and saw it. We went and saw it in 40X where the chairs move.
Ooh, was that
so
worth
it's like
your
a
time?
whole roller coaster? Absolutely. We any movie that we think is going to be like that, especially, but that we can go and see in 40X, because the ticket prices are obscene regardless.
Yep.
40X is like $25 a ticket, and it's like
kind of cool.
I love it, man. Every time we get an opportunity to see it or see a movie in 40X, we go and do that. So that's what we did. We enjoyed the hell out of it. It moves so much that probably 3/4 of the way through the movie, if you had a drink in the seat, it's flat. It just shakes all the carbonation right out of it.
That's funny.
That's how much it's moving around. And I mean, you're like constantly having to readjust and stuff. You know, it's got the water that sprays you occasionally. It's got fans in the ceiling that blow air on you. It's got smoke machines. It's got all sorts of cool stuff.
Dang.
And it makes use of all that in this movie for sure.
Dang, man.
I can't decide whether I feel like that would annoy me or
You
throw my back out.
gotta
One or
be in the
other.
mood for it. If you're gonna, my two recommendations for anything, if it's in IMAX and you don't want to get the crap beat out of you, go see it in IMAX. If you don't mind a roller coaster ride or like an attraction theme park sort of experience, 40X is just a lot of fun. And the kids are they just giggle the whole time.
I don't think we usually go to the AMC theater in Disney Springs, and I don't think they have that. I believe they have an IMAX though.
I don't know what I think AMC has their own equivalent because this is Regal that does the 40X primarily. I know it's like real.
I know I had the reclining seat
and all that,
and I was like, that's all I need. Just let me recline.
Yeah, feel this.
Our crew and Marla's crew not too long ago went and saw Dragon Ball Super or whatever the movie, the latest movie that came out in 40X, and that beat the hell out of you too. If you can imagine like Goku and Gohan flying through the air, throwing punches, Piccolo getting slapped and into the ground and stuff like that. I mean, the seats are just slamming the crap out of you. Chris almost died. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it's a lot of fun. But gaming wise, recently for me, I've been playing a lot of Fragpunk. Fragpunk is like this weird. It's essentially a Valorant clone, published or ran by the same guys that are running Marvel Rivals. Very kind of weird, almost conflict of interest in a way, but also not. Because it's like a team shooter, but it's not third person, it's first person. It's a first person shooter. You know, you go and plant the bomb, the other team's attacking or you're defending, whatever, that sort of mentality, kind of like an old school Counter-Strike. It's literally a clone of Valorant. But I have a lot of fun with that though. And then the wife and I just recently started Enshrouded. That's been on my list for a long, long time to play. And so I spun up a local server on my virtual host, and I mean, heck, we just started playing it just a couple of days ago, but we've been enjoying that. Just kind of same vibe like you're kind of describing, Brandon, with Minecraft and whatnot. Although the kids now also, because we watched the Minecraft movie, they want to watch they want to play Minecraft again. But yeah, that same sort of vibe. Like we can hang out at the base, build our house, work on the house, go, collect animals and farm materials, or we can go out and quest and battle enemies and stuff. And almost kind of like the combat almost kind of feels almost like Elden Ring in a lot of ways. The way that it plays, the dodge system works and stuff like that. So I know it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm sure my wife would love that. But she wants us an Elden Ring clone to play. Oh,
it
that's
reminded me
funny.
when we were doing Valheim and like trying to like sail across those oceans on the little rafts,
Yeah, that was a good time.
and then getting killed by whatever that big giant snake was.
Yeah, a lot of time. I think Steam said I had 180 hours in Valheim or whatever, which is high for me. In any game,
That is high
days.
for you.
For me, that's a lot of hours for a game.
I hate to be like this, Brent, but you're a game abandoner. I've watched you.
I have
abandon-
an attention span issue.
I've
I'm
watched
with
you
Brent.
abandon games.
I never finish games. There's just some games that like my ADHD is just like, yeah, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be my go-to game for a while.
Marla says, F the Kraken in Valheim. I'll die on that hill. And Marla, I will die on that hill with you. It is un bitch. Tough to deal with. It's a good game.
Yep. Yeah.
I saw you saw Enshrouded pop up, and I've had it on my wish list for a while because I just love any survival game.
Guys, it's early access. Don't buy early access games, haven't you? Like, what are you doing?
I don't unless it goes on like a cheap sale.
I mean, yeah,
like,
$24, and it. I mean, it's got enough content right now where if you were to play through it and say, okay, I'm good, you'd gotten your money's worth.
Got your
Well, I mean,
25
Brent and
hours
I,
of content. Sure.
We've already
fine.
established that Brent and I stopped playing games
There you go.
before we finish the content anyway.
It don't matter
So,
none. Yeah.
As long as it's got enough to like, as long as I can chop wood and create a crafting table, I'm probably good.
There's Marla's contribution to this, by the way. This is a real thing. I don't know if you guys have seen this on
She's
Steam. This thing's been blowing up the
Schedule
charts.
1. I've seen it.
It's been blowing up the charts, and you are a drug dealer.
Marla says we've been selling candy on the streets lately with some Schedule 1. Super fun sim game.
I mean, people have been loving it. That's one I've not jumped on that because I've had other things on my list that I'd rather play, really. But people have been loving it. And the Steam numbers have been ridiculous.
Incredibly popular for it's amazing, man. Some of those games with like real potato graphics. People are just like, give me, more.
Ooh. Y'all should
Like,
try
I
Motor
don't get-
Trend. Not
What'd you
Motor.
say?
Motor Town. Sorry.
Motor
It's
Town?
Motor
I don't
Town.
know. I feel like we're getting into the weeds here of what is that? What is this weird
It's like
niche
a
game?
car RPG. It's Motor Town behind the wheel, I think.
I'm
And
gonna look this shit up.
it's also early access. But it's one guy that's just been building this, and I was doing some YouTube videos on it, and I love it. It's basically a car RPG, and the driving physics are pretty good. I don't know why it reminded me of it, but
That is kind of neat.
oh yeah,
looking.
you
I
said
like that.
potato graphics, and that reminded me.
Oh shit, man! And then I can be Lightning McQueen.
Yes, Marla, we do need to do that. Hey, look, I've mentioned it multiple times when we're sitting there on
playing this
Discord talking
game.
about what do we want to play. I'm like, let's play Ready or Not.
Brother,
What's Ready
when
or
you
Not?
guys do, please invite me. I still got that game on my computer. Yeah, exactly. What we need, Matt, so I can go, what button is this? How do I pull out my shield, run around the corner, get shot at, talk shit, and get laid down? That clip is awesome. I love that clip. That clip gives me the giggles whenever I think about it. Shit.
First person shooter. That's why I've not played it.
No,
It's like
it
a SWAT
wasn't boom.
simulator.
There was like some like splatterings, and then there was my shit talk, and then I ran around the corner, and then there was a boom. Okay, you gotta get the order of operations right.
It was very funny though.
That game is good.
It is a very good game, and it runs so smooth now. By the way, and they've released a ton of DLC for it.
Have
Paid
they?
DLC as well.
Shit, dog.
So yeah,
If
we
you
definitely
guys
got
play-
that's definitely on the list, man, for sure.
Yeah, holla at your boy. I am willing to. I think I have like 40 hours, like 30 hours in the game or something. So I think that authorizes it for DLC. Silly how that works for me, but it does.
You know what game I'm looking forward to? Expedition 33. Because it's turn based. Because I was thinking like, oh, first person, I suck at them. But and I was like, then they need a turn based first person shooter, which sounds like a great time to me, but probably nobody else. But Expedition 33 is like it's coming out the 18th, but it's
Is that the Claire Obscure?
Yeah, this game upset me because I thought it was one of those Expedition RPG games, like, Expedition Rome,
Rome.
and Expedition
Yeah, not at
Conquistador and Expedition Vikings. And I was like, oh my gosh, a new Expedition game. It looks great. But like, then it wasn't that at all. And my heart was broken. I think that like shattering moment for me, the excitement in the shattering happened on stream.
That's
yeah,
a pretty looking game though.
It does look pretty. I mean, this looks like something I would consider buying. So
it's on Game Pass if you have Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass. Well, I think it just got slotted after Avowed. No, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 got slotted after Avowed.
Oh, we'll see you next year on that one.
Yeah, dog.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm going to be not on stream.
Everything I've seen looks glorious.
My buddy who turned me on the first one said that it's amazing, and he has really good taste in games, so I believe him. So, all right, we ready to move next topic, gents?
We got a big topic for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hey, I do want to say I'm looking at some gameplay. This game looks pretty fire. It does look JRPG, but it looks like it's the right kind. I may move this up on the list.
Miss Mandikins, hello.
What up, Mandikins? Hello.
All right, topic 3.
All right, topic 3.
Switch
topic
2,
3.
next gen or next mess?
Yeah, well, I mean, I got to be honest. I don't think this is going to be a mess. What up, Klaus? Thank you for the follow.
Thanks,
I mean, guys, all the stuff I'm seeing about it looks pretty good. The only thing that looks ass is that the pre-orders have been halted because we can't figure out our fucking tax situation here. Are we doing tariffs? Are we not doing tariffs? Like, you guys know we are not the political descent, as one of our followers coined some of my rants. But so I'll try to not get too much into weeds of it. But Nintendo was going to allow pre-orders, and then somebody slapped miscellaneous tariffs on every country in the world, and suddenly Nintendo's like, we don't know how to price this shit anymore. So America's pricing is in the wind. Nobody knows. Europe gonna get it for $450, I guess. Canada gonna get it for $450. Japan gets it for $350. It is region locked. So
Red Shubs, thank you for the follow, Red Shubs. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Red Shubs. And so it's fun. Miscellaneous tariffs, brother. Hold on. I will allow this. I got prompted there. Miscellaneous tariffs. I don't know what to say about that. None of that has to do with the Switch, except for the tariffs part. But sure, whatever, dog. I'll let it fly.
I like how
miscellaneous tariffs. It did. Well, it didn't like the word anus, but I guess I decided that it could be okay. I'm feeling loosey goosey. The more time goes on stream, the less I give a shit about what gets said on here, I guess. So whatever. It is a medical term. There we go. And he meant it in a medical way. Okay. Let's see. Other big stuff here. First party games are expensive as hell. $80. And yeah, I see you. Hold on, Brandon. I got my little shit talking rant. Okay. I'm gonna let you defend away.
Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, $100 more than the last Switch, but it's got some neat specs. We're talking 1080p LCD screen, we're talking 120 hertz, and people are like, the first rumors are coming out saying that it runs at a mid-tier PC level. 1080p, you might actually get 120 sometimes. So that's pretty good. $80 for first party games like Mario Kart is some dog shit. Mario Kart is not that good, in my opinion. And asking for an extra $10 for a cartridge is even more ass. I am quite upset. Asking for upgrades to move from Switch 2, like move your Switch 1 games into like performance of a Switch 2 style is also ass. And they are talking about the welcome tour. I don't know what that is. I guess it's some like demo thing. They want $10 for that too. Also, yeah, that's also ass. So, I mean, guys, this was a day one buy for me. I had totally planned on buying Switch 2. I totally regretted leaving out the Switch 1. Marla says worst battery life. That sucks.
I'm
I guess
pretty
that
sure
makes
your
sense.
this is ass list is much longer than mine and Brandon's, but that's just me taking a guess.
I'm really upset with the pricing, guys. I mean,
I'm
like,
just waiting. Yeah.
like I'm upset with the pricing. I do feel like, you know, if I buy a nicer computer and my games run nicer, I shouldn't have to pay a $10 fee to get more draw distance. So, okay, that's what I gotta say. I see they got some other cool stuff here. Something about mouse mode and a gyro and drag and drive. I don't know what the hell it is. What are these notes, man? What are these things?
I thought we were going in sequential order. I didn't know you were going to rant about
Let
everything.
Brandon cook. Let Brandon cook
Nah,
first,
bro,
and then we can rant.
Brandon,
okay?
I just say shit sometimes, bro. You can't stop me. I just get on a roll. But I'll let you get in there now.
Oh,
dog.
I know. I was waiting because I needed to wait until I could tell you where you completely said everything wrong.
Oh shit, dog. I fucked up.
And Matt,
No.
not only is Matt getting smoked by Brandon right now, but Matt just got smoked in chat as well.
Did I? This chat from the and getting sorry, the chat. This chat is coming from a guy who will not spend extra money if the game is free, unlike the rest of us. Hold up. Okay, I nearly bought the Invincible skin from Fortnite and then was too late to the party. Okay, but I thought about it. I've decided I'm authorized for a Fortnite skin now that me and the kids are playing it. So, you know, yeah, I'm really upset. I went back the next day to buy it and it was gone. Like that one, I actually was like, oh, I love Invincible. I'm gonna go grab that. And then, you know,
I just read the first issue of Invincible.
Did you? Was it good?
Just randomly. Yeah, it was good.
I haven't read it. I've only watched the TV show, which I guess makes me, you know,
I was browsing Internet
whatever.
Archive comics.
You stumbled over it. Again, I guess I'm just a poser because I've only watched the show, but I can
I've never
rectify
watched the
that
show.
one day. Oh, the show's like good, but I mean, like it's for adults, dog. You know, it's not kid friendly. All right, go ahead.
So back to pricing.
All right,
I think the main thing here that Nintendo has done has confused everybody in the entire world because they came out of the block, and so the $80 for Mario Kart is correct. Now it's only $10 more for that physical, I think, in Europe. I don't know why, but in some areas they're charging $10 more if you want the physical than if you want just the digital. Now, the other game that they've said is going to be $80 is Super Mario Party Jamboree Plus, well, something. You know how they do things, and they add on additional stuff, which has a whole nother part of the game. But then they have like DK Bonanza, which is going to be $70. So they were doing some interviews, and the way they responded to it, and they've done this in the past too, is basically said we're going to charge what we think it's worth. And they did that with Tears of the Kingdom when it came out. You know, their normal price was 60, and they put out Tears of the Kingdom and like, we're going to charge 70 for it. And so they are charging the $80 for Mario Kart. Now, I mean, I love Mario Kart and I'm going to buy it. So, I mean, they're going to get that $80 for me.
gross.
But they haven't said like that's our new pricing. Like they've literally got another game out there that is a single player that's $70. So they're kind of just all across the board, and that caused a lot of confusion. The $10 for the upgrades, if you have and this is for they confirmed this for Zelda Breath of the Wild and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. If you've got the NSO Plus expansion pack, then there's no cost for it. And if you don't, it's $10 for that. Now, those games, they've done some significant changes to it. It's not just like a performance bump, like they've completely like remastered graphics, and there's some additional modes and different things. But there's other games that they've said, like Pokemon Violet and Scarlet, and another list of them that are just getting performance upgrades. There's no like charge. For
Good
those.
God,
so
do
they
those
are
Pokemon
upgrading.
games need them,
Bro, they need a remastering too. They went back in time with the graphics. I remember looking at the walls and being like, wow, you could really see the tiles on that sand dune there. That's just a flat wall. Like, what the hell? Sorry, I was mad about that game, man.
It didn't stop me
Still
from putting
so-
like 70 hours in it, 80
I mean,
hours.
it sold however tens of millions of copies. Pokemon's going to sell regardless of what they do.
Be more discerning, people.
Telling you, man, Nintendo knows what they're doing, man.
So yeah, it is a lot of, I think, chaotic information, and people just went crazy, and they've only drip fed these things. Now, I don't know, guys. I'm so excited about Mario Kart. Like, I have wanted an open world Mario Kart ever since I played Horizon.
What does that even
Forza
mean?
Horizon. It's an open world Mario Kart. Like, you've got a huge world like Forza Horizon in Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And then I like drive around and pick my races, and
You can drive
I'm
around
not
the
paying
entire world.
$80. no matter how cool
Worth
that is.
$80 for it for sure.
Oh,
don't
like-
punish them.
for me-
punish them
for
for
me, it
charging
is
so
worth
much.
$80.
Don't buy.
And I think they're doing, like, because they're doing the not game share. Maybe it is game share, but some games, and somebody said Mario Kart has it, but I haven't been able to confirm it. I also haven't really tried very hard to confirm it. That it will do it where basically you can have one copy and then you share it with your family group, and you can play it at the same time. So you can play a multiplayer game with just the one copy of the
I
game.
did see some stuff like that. I think there's still a lot of details that need to come out for that, but that is definitely something coming. And that applies to, obviously it wouldn't apply to Mario Kart World or whatever the heck it's called, but because it's a Switch 2 exclusive. Well, it does apply for multiple Switch 2 consoles, but what I was going to say is there's games that are going to apply no matter the generation of Switch 2, Switch Lite, the original Switch, all that good stuff too. So that's interesting because they've needed that for a while.
If it is that they're like doing Mario Kart World and they're doing the game share, I would also think that might be one of the strategies they've done is kick up the price $80 because
they're going to be losing money in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to buy two games, one for me and one for my son, so we can both play on our own Switches type of thing.
Yeah. If it's true for Mario Kart. I can't I've been told it is, but I also haven't seen it specifically from Nintendo.
Rumors. Like,
but
what is the rumor of the price? And what is it going to be at the end? Hey, guys, this thing releases in like 2 months. And we don't know what the price is? That's crazy.
I think it'll end up being $450.
I think it'll end up being $450 also. You know,
I'm not going to pay a tariff on it. I will say that will prevent me
if it's
from
over $450, I'll wait.
Hold on, guys. Now, I mean, you're always like, look, the chances of us going 0% tariff, not to get into political dissent, but going 0% tariff on, foreign countries at this point is pretty low. You should assume that you're paying some amount of tariff, and that without it would be at minimum of 10% cheaper.
I'm not going to pay over the $450 is what I mean.
Go.
Regardless of, I think that they're going to settle on $450, even if they have to like take a little bit of a loss from what they were planning to make sure they don't go. Because I think $450 is probably pushing it for a lot of. Oh, that's something that there's a bundle going to be released as well with Mario Kart for $500, assuming pricing doesn't change, and that will be like a cheaper way to get Mario Kart. But I think $450 is pushing it in terms of what consumers will. Well, I mean, that first run's going to sell out regardless, but
I mean, maybe not. You put that thing, you price that thing at $550.
I mean, the Wii U sold out.
Oh yeah, well, yes, you gonna sell out. So I think if I'm getting it right, the new tariff on Japan, on imports from Japan, is a total of 24%, which, given some of the other things we've seen here, is it's low, which is wild to just say
it's
that.
It's not Japan, it's Vietnam, and I want to say Korea, where it's made.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which are
that
higher.
Sucks.
They're like 40 or 50%.
Yeah, Vietnam got 40%. I know that one because I've like that one's come up in my reading. So that sucks. Cause I mean, that's $200 more added on top of this thing,
Yep, and that will not be a buy for me.
No, and I
That's a
mean,
no for
guys,
me,
like,
dog.
look, Japan, Nintendo obviously is selling this thing for $350 in Japan, so there's some amount of viability around that number. So they could do some limiting, but at $550, like this console is now more expensive than Xboxes and PlayStations, though. Those are probably going up in price also. And I mean, who knows what's going to happen? Has anybody paid attention to politics recently? We're hot, we're cold, we're yes, and we're no, right?
I haven't looked at
We're
the
in,
news
we're
in
out,
a
we're
half a
up,
year.
and then we're down.
I don't want to know. I
It's crazy, brother.
I have an agreement with my wife to tell me if anything really crappy or major happens, but otherwise I don't pay any attention nowadays.
And I do want to say too, real quick, that one of the strategies as a gamer that enjoys all the platforms and all the companies for the longest time has been kind of like the PC Nintendo combo.
Yep.
Right.
That's a good combo.
Because and you do not buy a Nintendo console to play third party titles. You buy it to play first party titles, much in the same way that you used to buy a PlayStation to play those titles. Now, the lines have been blurred over the past 5 to 10 years now with Sony publishing games on PC now. And they were like, oh, damn, we can make a lot of money off this. People eat this crap up. Like, I own plenty of PlayStation titles on the computer, right?
Yeah,
and they're all great games. So now, like, and now, of course, Xbox or Microsoft specifically is seeing like, oh, we need to, Forza Horizon is coming out on PlayStation here shortly, right? There's a ton of games.
That game is so good.
Sea of Thieves is on PlayStation. All these games that now they realize too, like there's no reason for us to lock this to a console. Like we're gonna make more money doing it this way. Nintendo's not gonna do that anytime soon. I'm gonna tell you that.
Nintendo's saying hell no to
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. So like you
not.
buy that to play those first party titles, and they know that there is a demographic both on the nostalgic side and on the new generation of Nintendo gamer sides that are going to pay that money, and they're not going to say anything else about it because those are the games that they want to play. Like for me, something that will always sell me on a Nintendo system, always Zelda games. I love Zelda. It is, if I could choose,
one?
Huh?
You do the last one? You do Zelda Princess?
I've not bought it yet, but I'm just saying that like it will sell me on a Nintendo system regardless. Like especially if it's a big boy game. Like that game for me is like a secondary Zelda game in a lot of ways, even though it's still really great. Like I've heard nothing but
It's
great
like what would
things.
come out on the 3DS back in the day.
Right. Like it's more akin to like Link's Awakening, which I absolutely adore anyways. Like that remaster they made of that was phenomenal. But like I'm talking like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom level games that will sell me on a system instantaneously. If that's the only way
The
I can
people
play
who
it,
have played
I'll buy
the
it.
remakes of those, or the upgrades or whatever, have said it is like night and day different.
Oh,
in
I already
terms of the
know because
performance.
I have literally shortly after release.
Oh yeah,
I emulated it with a 3080 and had it running absolutely beautifully. I mean, with hella draw distance, textures oversampled, native 1440p, and it looked absolutely gorgeous. And that's where like you start to see like this is what this could look like if they only put out better hardware.
Mm-hmm.
And you just start to like it almost hurts going back and playing it on the Switch.
Yeah.
Like I actually stopped. I'm probably halfway through Tears of the Kingdom. I still have not finished it. I know how it ends because I've watched people play it. But I stopped playing it because I knew I was like, I'm either going to finish this on an emulator or I'm going to finish this on the Switch too, because I know it's going to come out. I know they're going to upgrade it, whether they're going to charge me for it or not. I know they're going to upgrade it. And that's where I'm going to finish this game because it deserves to be on that game or on a new console. It just, the Switch is vastly underpowered for a game of that caliber. It just really is. Can you play it? Can you enjoy it? Absolutely. But like I almost ruined it for myself emulating it in a lot of ways.
I couldn't play the Link's Awakening remake because it stuttered. Like it bothered me.
It was pretty
so I ended
bad.
up just selling it.
Beautiful game. Beautiful game, but it does stutter a lot.
Yeah, speaking of beautiful games, and I want to see this, but I probably like a Metro Prime 4. I know I'm skipping ahead. They have it playing at 120 frames per second in handheld, and I'm like,
pretty awesome.
And this goes to that mouse mode. You can play it with a mouse. You
That's
just take the
pretty cool.
Joy-Con off, and like it's just your mount. I, that
You're
is
a
cool.
fan. I
Well,
remember.
I'm a fanboy. Now they've done some stupid, like this whole system manual welcome tour is just dumb. Like, if they're going to do it, don't call it welcome tour. It's got a whole bunch of little mini games in it. You know, they had that Nintendo Land that they charged for with the Wii U, and they had the 1-2 Switch with the Switch came out. Like, both of those were tech demos that should have been pack-ins. But okay, they're just a game that's not really worth the price. But you called it welcome tour, and you presented it as a manual to the system, and you're charging that's just so stupid.
It was a little
I don't-
silly.
I don't-
Yeah. A lot of people compared it to like, why couldn't you guys do what Valve did with the Aperture Desk Job? That's free to download on your Steam Deck, which is a glorious game, by the way. I love that. How that's another technical demo game. If you have a Steam Deck and you have not tried Aperture Desk Job, it's phenomenal little game.
Really?
Um,
Okay. Maybe I
yeah,
give this a
absolutely.
try.
It's like hands down the first thing you should have downloaded.
Well, nobody told me that.
I wanted to mention real quick too about the whole mouse thing with the Joy-Cons. I thought what was really neat, one of my like qualms with a lot of things with the Switch is like I feel like anytime you have to change orientation with the controllers or assignments, it's like this whole ordeal, right? You're like reassigning everybody, you're trying to get the damn controllers to sync up properly, who's got what color, I don't know, blah, 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 blah. They showed that thing in action where they literally just flipped that Joy-Con on the side midstream and it just started working as a mouse right off the bat. Like they didn't even have to do anything. It went from acting as a controller, they flipped it down. I guess the optical sensor or whatever's on the side of it starts going, and then boom, they were just controlling it like a mouse. Yeah,
that's why I put that Dragon Drive in there. It's a wheelchair basketball game, and you hold both of the Joy-Cons because they're both mouse capable, whatever, and you put it on your legs or on the desk, and you kind of do it like a wheelchair to let go. But then when you go to shoot the basketball, you just pick it up and do it and do a little shot with the and so the gyro just kicks in immediately.
Wow.
As soon as you pick it up. And so like that dynamic, they were doing the same thing with Metroid, where you could play with the mouse, and then like you said, Brent, you just immediately, if you just pick it up and start using it as a regular joystick.
Yeah.
Nintendo, they make really, really dumb choices sometimes, or really odd. But for their games and their technology, they do really well with it. Now,
they're the Apple of the gaming industry.
They make stupid choices sometimes, but
yeah,
they're the Apple of the gaming industry. That's how I've always looked at them. They make these very tightly knit packages, gaming scenarios or gaming ecosystems. None of it is necessarily groundbreaking in any way. It's only groundbreaking in the way that they combine things that have been a thing for 20 years. You know what I mean? Like the mouse technology has been around forever, but no one's thought to take a controller that you can flip sideways and do that on the fly, right? You know what I mean? And then made it usable in a real way. So they're just, I don't know, they just do a lot of things that like the tech is there, it's mature, they combine it in a very unique way. Boom, here's the product.
Did y'all see the virtual game cards? This was on the Switch 1 Direct the week before. But did y'all see
some things about it? What's the details on that?
So you were going to be able to lend out your digital games to anybody in your family group.
Oh, thank God.
Which can be up to like 8 people. And it will basically, it's the most Nintendo way of doing this ever. When you lend it to them, it becomes unavailable for 14 days for you. And in 14 days, they don't have to like be connected to the internet past that first time. It'll work for them for 14 days, and then it'll revert back to you.
Oh man, that would be so cool, because then maybe I could play like games on that secondary Switch when I'm in the car. So if
it's your Switch, you'll be able to switch back and forth. If you just have 2 Switches, you'll be able to like play games on either Switch if it's yours.
Yeah.
This is if you're giving it to somebody else.
I get it. But I've got I end up with this problem where, I get in the car and the baby Switch won't play games unless it's connected to the internet. so it can check to be licensed for games unless they're under my account.
Oh, it's
So
yeah.
this solves that problem. I can just take,
Yep.
the game, I, say Minecraft, and I can, lend it to, my son, and then he can open it up and rock and roll offline. And I mean, like, this is, first of all, this is a great problem that they're solving, but it's pretty sad that we had this problem to deal with, ever in the beginning. And so, like, do I really pat you on the back for shooting yourself in the foot and then bandaging yourself? I don't know.
I can't. I mean, I don't. Well, I don't know how PlayStation does, but Xbox has also been wonky. PC, Steam just now allowed you to like share your games, which I love the way Steam is doing it
Their
now. Like,
family game
wonderful.
sharing is great. I've basically given my kids access to my library. I am so proud of my son. He just beat Spider-Man 2 end to end. And, it's like, I think the way Steam handled it is really awesome. I wish,
Yeah.
I wish Epic would allow that. It would make my life easier if Epic would allow it, because then I wouldn't have to sign into my account on the kid's computer so they can play effing Tony Hawk. And, like, I've got thanks to Epic's little sales, I've got like 100 games in there now. And, some of them are good. So I don't know. I wish other companies would get on board, I guess.
Quick rundown of what's left on Nintendo, and y'all stop me if you want to discuss anything. One, there's all the stick drift stuff. So people wanted to know, is it the Hall effect? It is not, but they've rebuilt it from the ground up. So it's something new. Hopefully they've fixed it. But it isn't the Hall effect, which
Really?
Yeah, it was so bad with the first generation of stuff. Good God.
Yeah. But it is, they did specifically say it isn't what it was in the Switch 1 Joy-Cons. It's something new, but they didn't. When y'all do come to Orlando, y'all let me know. Because I'm definitely going to be going to Universal as well. And good hearing. Where was it? GameCube games. So NSO Plus expansion pack is going to have GameCube games. They're coming out with F-Zero GX, Zelda Wind Waker, and Soul Calibur 2. Or is it just the first one? Anyway. I've heard mixed. Some people that have played it has said that there's some frame jitter on some games, and then some have said that they didn't see it, which that's just emulation tweaks. Nintendo's been pretty good this round with kind of tweaking their emulators to get them better and better. So I will put my trust in Nintendo for that one. Maybe. I put this in here for Matt because I feel like you're going to have an interest. It can run Cyberpunk at 30 frames per second in handheld.
I saw that. That's pretty impressive. That's what I'm saying. Like that the hardware there is good, and it makes me feel good about buying a Switch like right off the rip. Except that price point don't do it for me. But like,
Nvidia said that their quote was it has 10 times the graphics performance of the Switch 1 using DLSS and different.
I mean,
NVIDIA magic.
To me, the Switch. All right, so to me, I looked at a Switch 2, and I no longer classify it as like a straight up Switch. I classify it as a like true competitor in the handheld market. And when I'm buying, if I didn't have a Steam Deck, I would be asking myself, well, should I buy a Switch 2 or should I buy a Steam Deck? Right? Or should I buy what is it, the Lenovo Legion Go? Probably not that one, or the ROG Ally, maybe. I think in the end, I would still get the Steam Deck because at the end of the day, Steam Deck's a Linux operating system. Switch is just Switch. And
yeah, but Linux sucks.
The hell it does.
I love Linux.
I was like, bro, you came to the wrong place talking that trash We're gonna go fucking out back. This is gonna be the last time you're on Digital Ascent.
My first and only episode.
Damn,
I go
son.
through about once per year. I install Linux and try to make it a daily driver, and then I eventually give up and go back to Windows.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard work, right? But if you get it running, it's good stuff.
I used it exclusively for about a year and a half.
I did too.
Back in my very early days.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Anything else?
micro SD Express only.
What's
So
that
regular it's just the newer version. Oh god dang it. Cat
There's that
number
sixth cat.
6.
There's that sixth cat. Got him. No good deed goes unpunished, Brandon. Damn, son.
He's calling me like it's just a newer version of micro SD. So basically your regular micro SDs that you got in your Switch right now aren't going to work.
I think the read and write baselines are higher by default.
It's gotta be it.
Yeah. Here's the kitty that just tore my leg out. Hey, go, Bobo. Hey, go, Bobo.
I'm looking at you.
This is the one that grabbed he was a little kitten and grabbed Dessa's hand. Hi.
He's a pretty boy.
He's a fatty. I mean, look at this. He's huge.
Dang it, Brandon, see what you're doing to the wifey? Now she wants an orange cat.
Dang, son, what you doing?
And then he almost did it again. And then the LCD screen. Everybody coming away basically said it doesn't look like a downgrade from the OLED. So whatever magic they've done there, it's got HDR built in. So they were just talking about how the colors really pop on the screen. And then there's a From Software exclusive Duskbloods.
Oh, that's an exclusive?
It's a Switch 2 exclusive, and it didn't say timed exclusive. It just said only on Switch 2. But it's not. It's not like I don't know what it. I haven't looked. It is not my kind of game. I will not play it. But the fact that it was a From Software exclusive was what triggered me. I was like, "Whoa, what?"
Borderlands 4 is coming out on it.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
That don't surprise me too.
It'll be a launch day. It'll be same launch day. So that's been another thing too, like to consider is like we're at a point right now where despite Nintendo releasing arguably still aged hardware, much like they did with the original Switch when it came out, like everybody knew this, it's cool, it's handheld, but it's underpowered compared to like PC performance. Now at the time there wasn't really like any other handhelds out. Right now we have this standard that we're comparing it to now. But I will say, like everything historically, even more recently, has been like, we're going to release it on Switch, but it's going to be a year and a half later because we've got to figure out how to make this damn thing work.
Yeah, make it happen.
But it's going to come out. And right now, because the industry is already taking an approach in a lot of ways with 4K gaming, because in higher, if for whatever reason, only God knows what reason you'd be playing above 4K or have the means to do so.
Yeah, like how do you even do that? I still haven't converted to 4K yet.
Right, but like, yeah, look at like Linus's 8K video that he did. But anyways, all that to say, NVIDIA now obviously is using all this AI technology for DLSS 4 and all the other upscaling technologies they've got built into that. That is what's making the Switch 2 possible to even do what it's doing now, is the fact that it's built by NVIDIA and they're using all those same tricks that they bring to their their bread and butter GPUs. They're bringing that to the Switch 2 as well. That's what makes this whole thing possible. It's essentially God only knows really in a lot of cases what the native resolution is on some of these games, but you wouldn't know it because the DLSS technology has gotten so good.
Yeah,
it doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah,
I think that Valve saying, "Hey, we're releasing the Steam Deck and we're not putting out a new one for years," has also contributed to a market that is like, it's okay to not look the best. You know, you've got this other major player out there that's saying the Steam Deck is super popular. We're not putting out a new, more powerful version.
Yeah,
deal with it. Same thing Nintendo did. You know, they were like, you've got the Switch, deal
And they
with it.
proved it.
It's like
Yep.
8 years, man. Long time.
And so
Uh,
now you have people putting out games. This is probably the reason Cyberpunk will run on the Switch as well as it does, because they've already got it
Yep.
running on the
They
Steam
just
Deck.
got to trim more fat, or maybe even not. So I did look up the SD cards. Speed difference is crazy here. The normal SD cards that you're thinking about, they'll do 2 megabytes, 2 megabytes, 2 megabytes a second to 90 megabytes a second. These new Express bad boys, they start at 150 and they end at 600 megabytes per second. You know, they're for the read. It looks like it's sequential, right? I mean, that's basically a real SSD now at that point. And that's pretty impressive because it wasn't that many years ago that's the absolute most that you could hope. Like 600 megabytes, you were going greater than the SATA limit, right? For a long time, SATA drives, that's the most that I've got. I'm not joking with you. I've got a stack of who knows how many hard drives in my garage right now for my various adventures that that can read write a max of 500. If anybody needs hard drives, just let me know. We can work something out. I've got like a bunch of them. I think most of them are maybe scuzzies, but you know, whatever. You need to do some weird shit, I got you, dog. Okay. Anything else we want to cover here with this Switch?
There's a lot.
think
We'll cover some stuff as it comes out.
Oh, yeah.
on
Bet,
later episodes
absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah,
I
I'm not-
am an unequivocal, whatever the word is, Nintendo fanboy. I'm okay
Unequivocal.
with this. I did say it right then.
It's close now, yeah. All right. Next topic I want to talk about, we're going to talk about is the E-ZPass toll scams. So I don't know if y'all been getting these text messages recently.
You got to read the topic, man.
That's what the topic is.
Easy pass, more like easy fished.
Yeah. Oh, look. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even see it. Yeah. E-ZPass, more like easy fish, bitch. All right. So, I don't know about you guys, but I've been getting these text messages telling me I own tolls. They say it's from, they say I own tolls in the state that my phone number is from. I do not believe there are tolls in that state that I'm aware of. So they just like, yeah, see, I got like a good fishing background before me. That's what they're doing back there.
There you go.
Brother. So I've like legitimately, so I've had to like provide training for this because I've stopped at this point, like 10 people, including someone in IT, from going to one of these sites. Basically you get a text message that says you own tolls in wherever, man, wherever you're from, wherever they think you've been, that's where you're going to own tolls. It doesn't really matter. They're going to give you a funky website to go to that is not a state or government website. And they're going to get you to, try to get you for your $30 or whatever. The FBI and CISA have released a formal warning on this saying, be alert. We're seeing a lot of these things. They're coming from a lot of different domains. They are getting people and they are successful. So you got to watch out for them. I'll post a bleeping computer article in the chat, and in there, they've got some of the links that they have, like some of the sample text messages, and they say stuff like E-ZPass final reminder, you have an outstanding toll, your account balance is outstanding. If you fail to pay by date, you will be penalized and subject to legal action. They ask you to go to eve-zpass.com-mqn.world/en, and then it tells you to press Y and to like activate the link because your iPhone automatically deactivated the phishing link, and they're saying, so please deactivate your security controls and then click on the link and give me money. It's crazy catching people. Yeah, that's a safe link. That one's from Bleeping Computer though, Marlon. Marlon says no links. That's fair. It's a safe link. And it's educational. Once you go there, I mean, it looks like you have tolls to pay, and if you don't, then you go to jail or whatever. And
Think about texts, just like phone calls. I always assume they're scams because I get
Yes, you
so much
should.
spam on my phone. Like I don't answer any phone calls unless it's from somebody I don't, because I get like 20 or 30 calls a day from Scam Likely.
Man, the you said for you get it for from Scam Likely. I misheard
Yeah,
you.
that's what
Man,
it says.
That's the greatest thing. That's probably the coolest thing about going to iPhone. It sends every phone call to voicemail for me. If you are not in my contacts, which has burned me a couple of times, but now that I know, I put the doctor's office or whoever it is in there ahead of time so I can confirm my appointment later. And, it's great. It just goes voicemail. I go, okay, well, I don't owe any taxes because I'm a rule follower. Man, I was just looking at this thing again. They only want $7 from this toll. They are really like scamming like small bits of cash. That's crazy. I figured they'd be going for at least $20 on that.
That doesn't sound like a lot. And like living in Florida, we get messages about tolls all the time.
Yeah. So that's
like,
how
it's normal.
That's how they got my buddy in IT. He did go to a toll area and he was doing work for travel. And he knew that for sure that he had blown through tolls, and because he just wasn't prepared for the toll pass. That's simple, man. So he blew through it. He went back to the rental car place and he was like, yo, man, so I blow through this toll and I don't really know what to do about it. And they were just like, don't worry about it, bro. You'll get a text message. And sure enough, 5 days later, he gets a text message, and I had to be like, no, dog, we don't go to that site. And put the fucking brakes on that shit. So let's see. Mermaid says, these toll texts are getting older generations. You fucking bet they are, without doubt. And she says, I'm like, bish, I live in TN. There ain't no tolls around here. That's right. We just don't pay for our rolls or fix them here. We don't do it with tolls or taxes. So, watch out for them potholes.
Matt, you're going to hate this, but I got to tell you, you're wrong.
Wait, do we got tolls or we got taxes?
Bad roads. Tennessee, multiple times, was voted best roads in America by truckers.
Shut up. No way. That's wild.
They get much worse than Tennessee.
So here's the deal.
Worse.
I said I talked that trash about Tennessee, and I specifically do it because it wasn't that long ago within the past couple of years where I was like, you know what? I grew up around bikes, like motorcycles. I think it's time for me to get a motorcycle, right? I love motorcycles. I like riding on them. I probably have enough disposable income. I could finance a motorcycle or buy a motorcycle or something if I save it up for a bit. And then I started thinking about all my experiences driving on the interstate, and I realized I can't get a motorcycle. I'll fucking die. Have you seen the potholes in Tennessee? They are giant, and they go unfixed for a long time. What am I going to do? I'm going to putt down to the gym a whole mile and a half. Hey, what up, Ziggy? Ziggy says, my dad dropped his washer from his RV by driving over a bridge abutment. So, there you go. Well, first of all, thank you for your first time. I don't know, abutment. I don't know that word. I'm sorry. I don't actually know that word. That's a new one for me. Thanks for making me look ignorant, Brandon. You prick. No.
Let's see. A structure built to support the lateral pressure of an arch or span at the ends of a bridge.
There you go.
Don't get me wrong. I couldn't have defined it. I just was like, I get a lot of guys. I'm from East Tennessee. I get a lot of words wrong. And so when I ask,
you were like, har, fuck Matt.
Well, I mean, that's just normal.
I'm going to get his ass.
Like when Marla said, are y'all guys even IT? I was going to say, well, that's me and Brent. Matt's security.
Yeah, see, Marla heard it. Marla heard, fuck Matt. I mean, it just happens. Ziggy says, road meets bridge equals abutment. Did I say it right? Or am I like...
It's abutment.
It is? God damn it.
No, I'm just kidding.
You got me twice now. Damn, dog.
If you break it out, it's a butt mint.
Okay. Right? All right.
Back on type of mint.
Thank you. Butt mint. Thank you, Ziggy. All right. Back on topic, security things. All right. So these techs suck, and I bet they are scamming a lot of old people, and I bet they're scamming, like, seriously, they're scamming a lot of people. The guy who I know, he ain't old, brother. He not like, but they're hard, and a problem like this really highlights the importance of understanding how to like read a URL. Right, we encounter URLs, that's uniform resource locators, things you put at the top of your browser that says facebook.com. That's the URL, and they're hard to read. You know, I very specifically remember being early in my career and being like, do I really need to know HTTPS://? Do I really need to know like that versus HTTP? And, you know, being like not understanding it. Like, obviously I get it now. Right. But, you know, I was early in my IT career. I didn't like really understand the importance of like a domain versus a subdomain. Domain, something being something like digitalascent.tech, and a subdomain being like blog digitalascent.tech or discord.digitalascent.tech or podcast.digitalascent.tech. And like really understanding how to determine what's like the ownership, and then like what's a page within that or a section within that, and knowing that neither of these things actually belong to E-ZPass, who I'm pretty sure is a legitimate toll company. And yep, Brand's nodding yes. So you know, it really highlights the importance of you know, understanding that. I see it as a principal challenge to teach the users at my company how to, you know, hover over a link and, you know, be like, well, does that DocuSign go to DocuSign, or does that DocuSign go to, you know, give me your shit.ru, which more than likely it goes to that second one, you know, or does that OneNote go to, you know, a link that you recognize, or does it actually go to like the document that you need? And I don't know, guys. I mean, part of this is, you know, hey, be careful. Part of this is outright lamenting the challenge and that like we have in the IT profession and in the security profession to defend ourselves and our users. I do want to call out that the government is saying, please file reports on these things so we can put these fuckers in jail. So if you get a report, if you get one of these things, please report it to the i3c.gov or ic3.gov website. They allegedly take these things seriously and allegedly will do something about it. I don't know. It'd be great if these like toll scams stop, because they are an absolute menace on society.
Good
Brandon?
rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Good rule of thumb for everybody. Just never click the link.
Don't click on it.
Just regardless of whether it looks good or not, just go to the website.
Just don't click.
You know, you're gonna get, if you go and say Google E-ZPass, you're gonna get their main website.
Man,
as long as you're,
it's like, I hate to cut you off, but man, it's not really the best practice anymore either in some ways. I have numerous examples in, you know, over the last 2 or 3 years of, you know, ad squatting on Google, where it looks like a completely legitimate, it looks like you have the service and, like the right, when I say the service, I mean the right place that you're trying to go. But when you go there, it's not. Let's see what we got. Mannequin in the chat. Mannequin says, I've gotten those texts. We don't have tools. I ignore them. See? Bing. There we go. Good stuff, Mandy. Ziggy says, no Google. Ziggy says, sus link up above. My brother, why you got to be like this? You know I wouldn't hand out no phishing stuff or Rick rolls or nothing like that. I only bring the good links here to chat. You know, I'm spreading the gospel, if you will. So, Brent, anything to say on this subject, my man? Or Brandon?
No, I don't think I've gotten hit by any. The only thing I've gotten hit by is I don't think it was a toll, but the ones that I got came from like a foreign, out of country number.
Oh yeah, I've got a couple of those from, I think it's from 6-1. What's the country?
I think so.
6-1?
Yeah, it's like the damn thing is like 15 digits long. I was like, that I don't know what the hell that is. That's getting blocked. So
plus 6-1 is Australia.
I guess I owe something in Australia then. I don't know.
A country I will never go to. Watch the 10 deadliest things in the world. They were all in Australia.
They're all there,
Every
brother.
one of them.
Hey, it can't be too bad. People do survive there. So, you know,
I don't understand how they have a spider, a hook spider, that will grab a hold of you and you have to go to the doctor to get it off because it just.
Are you sure that's what it's called? I Googled that and all I got is sci-fi creatures.
That's because that's how bad it is. It may not be a hook spider. I thought it was.
Oh,
I'm so
man, that's good.
That sounds so terrible.
Nope, these are real things. They're called trogloraptors. Is that right?
Raptors? Oh,
Is that real?
Oh, God, I can't. No, I can't. Nope.
No, this can't be the right one. This looks creepy, but it ain't the right one. All right, well.
There is a spider, whatever it's named, that will hook onto you because it has like mandibles that are shaped like hooks.
That's no good, brother.
I don't like
that. All right. No. Anyone got anything more to say on the E-ZPass tools? Chat, you guys got anything about E-ZPass tools?
They're too busy simping over the Irwin boy right now, so don't worry about it.
Is that who they're talking about? I saw they said something about Robert, and I was like, who the fuck is Robert, Doc? I'm not even going to ask. I'm not even going to incur. I don't know what's happening here, but
don't even worry about
it. Ain't about E-ZPass toll scams, so I'm out.
We lost him when we brought up Australia.
Yeah, I guess. Way to go, Brandon.
Oh, he is handsome.
Dog. All right. Serious topics. Serious topics.
Guys, he's holding a koala. I want to marry this guy now.
10 out of 10.
What's your wifey got to say about that, dog?
I bet she would be okay with it.
Oh, there you go.
My wife loves koalas.
Wait, hold on. Was you marrying Robert or was you marrying the koala? Koala.
You can't post pictures in chat. That's dumb.
Nah. It'd be nice if you could. Twitch, you get with the times.
I get why you can't now that I've
put
more than a second of thought.
But whatever. All right. Next topic. What we got? Last topic.
It is Fast Flux malware on the move. Yeah.
So more crunchy in the weeds security stuff now.
What the flux is Fast Flux, Matt?
So what the flux is Fast Flux.
That's what I should have made the title.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That would have been better. ChatGPT, do your job better, dog. All right. So Fast Flux is a new, I guess I would call it a new technique that is being used by, allegedly advanced persistent threats to evade detection. And it goes something like this. I break into your environment and that's cool and all, but I need to now, and I deploy some malware and that's cool and all, but I need to continue sending commands. So what I need is to establish a persistent command and control method, right? So I'm there, but now I want to, go hunt for, if you're listening to Dave, he would say the bad guys now want to go hunt for devices that don't have your XDR software, your EDR software, your protection mechanisms on them, and they're going to spread. But you can't do that without control. And so Fast Flux is a mechanism that makes the command and control traffic harder to detect. And it goes something like this. I break in and I tell it to listen for commands on, ihackedyou.com. And then I don't want to be detected. So I send a command to, now listen for commands on ignorethisurl.com. And then I send some more commands. And then I send a command to it to listen to, jinx.com. It doesn't matter, man. The names don't matter, right? The point is that I'm very quickly changing the where you listening to, and you can change both IP addresses and DNS records. And it allows you to quickly, quickly shift through several different names to avoid the detection. How does that help you avoid detection? Well, if you see a large amount of traffic to a weird website, that might trigger someone to go and investigate it. It also makes it easier to block, right? Way easier to block one website and one IP than it is to block 50 websites and 50 IPs. And some of these people are also doing what's that's called a single flux. A double flux will also change the name server, canonical names, and the A records. And so it becomes very hard to track these, like the continuation of the commands through the different internet traffic, because there's nothing to like really latch onto unless you get the presumably encrypted packets that are telling it to move over and over again. A lot of these people are using what's called bulletproof hosting, which means that there's no way to get it taken down. You know, American government can go to the hoster and they're like, sorry, we're not in your jurisdiction, so go away. We don't have to do anything. And they won't, because they want their $10 or whatever. And if their jurisdiction comes and knocks on their door, they often don't keep, good records about who's hosting from them. And so it makes it very hard to take it all down, and it makes it hard to stop the people and figure out who's actually there doing it. It's very challenging. CISA says this is bad enough that they consider it like a national security concern. So it's definitely something, if you're in defense, I'm guessing, and I would say it's something that may need to be, reviewed. They did give some recommendations here on how to, defend against it. Number one, monitor for anomalous domains. Number two is monitor the time to live records. All DNS records have, an expiration date on them. And the time to live on these are short. Why? Because they're flipping, and they need just to keep on moving. And because they can come back with that domain to a new IP address again, right? Like they have lots of options here on, how to move it around and keep it shuffling. The bad actors are overwhelmingly pairing this with phishing. So, you get phished. And that gets you initial access. And then after that, the bad actor wants to establish persistence. They want to establish command and control so they can issue commands and begin lateral movement and hunting for your crown jewels. And then the last thing is that if you are part of critical infrastructure, I believe the government will offer you protective DNS of some form or another. I think that means that you do have to send your DNS to government hosted servers. So, guess that depends on how paranoid you are, if you want that. If you're not, if you're not critical infrastructure, then you can go get private DNS. There is consumer grade stuff like the Cisco. Cisco offers Open DNS, I think it is. It's free. And, you can just sign up for it and add it and rock and roll for your home. And that'll help keep your home safe from this stuff. Cisco does a pretty good job, in my opinion. And there's like 1,000 other products that you can buy for your enterprise that you can deploy, or that you get like an enterprise-based product with a good console and a way to deploy it in mass, and so on and so forth.
No, Cloudflare is a big one.
Yeah, man. Cloudflare, good example. They out there doing good work. So, I mean, that is what the Flux is, fast Flux there. Yet a new technique. I know there's always new techniques out there, but this one seems like a pretty cool one, if you want to say such a thing. It's clever. Exactly, man. Clever, yeah. There's a little bit of risk involved with this one. What if your last command doesn't get sent and you have to abandon that, you have to abandon your domain that you're on right now, and you kind of because you're throwing a line and then waiting for something, you're catching it basically as it comes through another portal, if you will. You're tossing your line to a portal and it's supposed to come out over here and you're supposed to catch it. And what if you don't catch it? If you fat finger something, you're going to lose control of your botnet or whatever you're doing, and that sucks. So on the other hand, no risk, no reward. So
I'd be curious to see what type of to that point, I'd be curious to see what sort of fallback it has built in, what sort of redundancies it has built in. If this domain doesn't respond, or you don't get commands from this domain, hop over to this domain, because this is a backup domain.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe then that domain course corrects it and puts it over here to where it's on a whole different path, because now it's assumed that the original course has been detected in some way.
Yeah, for sure.
Compromised. I could just see that going.
It's crazy.
I don't have the brain capacity to even comprehend or develop something like that, thinking about it like this, but I know there's people sitting out there and that's all they do.
Yeah,
So-
for sure. Oh man, generative AI makes it like 1,000 times easier
Right.
to do all this stuff, right? Like I had an emergency hit my plate. It was not like a security emergency, but it was an emergency hit my plate on last Friday. And I very quickly had to like come up with some scripting in PowerShell to do some things I had never done before. And, you know, I went to generative AI and I was like, crank me out this script, use these commandlets in PowerShell. Here's the documentation to make it happen. And, you know, it just did it. It didn't work first time, but, you know, I was, you know, I mean, it vibe coded pretty damn well. And, you know, it was able to get me to a point where I could, you know, polish it off, you know, take out and, you know, give it a little rub here and there.
Nothing I've ever
going.
written worked the first time either. So
Yeah, fucking bet, bro. You know, it's crazy. Security, I mean, man, security world's crazy. It's getting harder and harder. I feel like both the topics that we covered tonight regarding this make it like talk about that. The E-ZPass stuff is, you know, hard. All they got to do is put easy-pass and then literally anything, and people will click on those darn links. Like they prey on the fear. They're not asking for that much money. Nobody wants to get hassled by the cops. You know, at $5 to $10, bro, I bet they're just reaping cash. And maybe North Korea's doing it, man. They're doing all those other heists. Maybe they've started doing E-ZPass heists now and along with their crypto stuff. I'm joking. I don't think it's that, but still. Crazy stuff.
It is wild.
I have a short stream tonight. You guys got anything else you want to BS about? Chat got anything they want to talk about?
I don't know. I feel like we covered a lot though.
Yeah.
In an hour and a half.
We packed it in.
We did.
I could have talked 30 more minutes about Nintendo for sure. But I figured at some point I needed to shut up.
Well,
That's
there's
good
so
stuff.
much more to come with that anyways. I'd
Yeah.
imagine we should have some
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot more details.
All
I
right.
think is there anything we didn't cover in that list? I don't believe so though.
No, we touched on pretty much everything.
We need to add Nintendo World at Universal next time. Wow, imagine shutting up your guests. What?
Never. We wouldn't do that.
Ayo.
Let's see.
Brandon's not a guest.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Brandon
would never treat
Brandon
me like a guest.
contributor, bro. He full partner. He here part of the crew
I
now.
asked them to talk about video games, and they were like, "Yeah, sure, come on, talk about video games." And then like security.
Yeah. Well, y'all saddled me with content generation, so we're gonna talk about security because that's what I want to talk about.
Marla,
This
I have
is an
not
aside that-
updated everything
no.
yet, okay? Jesus.
This is an aside
Damn,
that
son.
a lot of people probably won't care about, but if TTL times start triggering security issues, that's going to make it a nightmare for some DNS migrations and stuff, because that's part of what you do. Hopefully the TTLs we're talking about
Yeah.
are like 2 seconds. I don't and there's still going to be that was the first thing that popped in my head, because you use that whenever you're doing DNS, email migrations that involve DNS,
Yeah.
really anything DNS related.
Man, those are
Start trying to.
good call outs. I do think that you can probably like accept those. I mean, you have a couple options there, right? First one is to notify your security. So, you know, as we're going through projects, you know, at my company and, you know, previous positions, alarms get triggered, right? What do you do about those alarms? This is a good topic, right? How do you handle that type of situation, right? Because if you don't communicate, your security personnel are going to like piss their pants a little bit, maybe. So, you know, number one, you communicate your changes. Number two, as a security personnel, you can just be aware that those alarms are going to fire for those domains, and, you know, even you can outright ignore them. If you've got extra time on your hand, you can always, you know, you can always write rules to ignore them, right? Almost every alert-based software has something to be like, and leave me alone if this is how that goes, right?
Yeah, but we're not talking for this. What I was talking about, we're not talking about things that you have control. I'm talking about you've lowered your TTL so that the world knows to look faster.
Oh, you're saying
And
if
the
other
world
people
is
start
seeing
doing
you-
that, oh my man, I hadn't
Yeah.
thought about that.
Yeah, I'm talking about
Oh, that's a good call out, man.
now. I mean, the way around that is you just do the full migration of DNS and be ready to flip it regardless of your
Yeah,
details.
but I mean, like
But-
as like a consumer of your wares, if you will, I communicate. You and I are business to business, and I communicate with your business. You're not going to reach out to me and be like, "Yo, dog, I'm going to lower my TTLs. Don't worry about it." Right?
And if I do, you're going to sue me and be like, "Don't ever call me again."
Yeah, basically, right? So that's a good one. Yeah, it's a real challenge, man. It's a good look, man. There's sometimes in security where you're like, shit, dog, game recognized game. Like, that's a good one. So, like sometimes it's just good. Like it's just good.
There's some smart people out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they aren't all playing on the same team as you, unfortunately.
Yep.
So cool deal. Let's see. Marla says, honestly, at this point, Jordy might be a guest because he ain't been here for. Hey, you leave him alone. We all need little breaks now and then. It's all right. Jordy's still important people to us. It's all good.
He'll still
All
be
right.
around.
Yeah, boy. So, all right. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Bueller?
Shout outs to Klaus for the follow and Rad Shoves for the follow. And that RG Ninja guy who hadn't followed until earlier.
Dang, son.
I think I signed in on the wrong account. Basically, my other account.
It's the secondary Twitch account.
Yo, but where's my calendar now? I'm trying to pull up my calendar and be like, you can join us on this next date, but I can't figure out
I'll just pull it up on the window.
It's the 21st.
on the what?
April
Wait,
21st.
it's 21st. Wait, hold on, Brent. What'd you say? Where do I do
Well,
it?
you can't because you're on a Mac, so have fun.
Yeah, I have no idea how you get to the calendar. easily, but
I
just clicked the little button
What
here
did I
and it
do?
said-
I did control space and typed calendar, and there was indeed a calendar app, and it has some of my stuff in it already. So
You had to open an app.
yeah. Look, not
There's
everything
an
on the
app for
Mac.
that.
I need to start like keeping track of this, and we need at some point in time to have a Mac struggles on Mac situation. Cause this is, going to Mac is way harder than going to iOS. Going to iOS was easy. Now I was surprised at how easy it was, and I thought going to Mac was going to be easy. And no, it has been quite a bit of pain. So, I mean, I'm still going to do it because you can't buy an 8-year PC. It's just impossible. You can't buy an 8-year laptop, is what I've concluded. So I'm still here for it, but it's pain. All right, let's see. Chat wrapping it up. Anything else you got going on there?
I got some last minute bans to hand out, but other than that, yeah, we're good.
All right, get them, Brent.
just a few bans here and there.
All right, cool. All right, I guess that's it.
Were you gonna throw the dates out? Did you ever-
Shit! What am I doing here again? What
Well,
day
Brandon,
is it?
Brandon already said the 21st. That's gonna be our next
April
stream.
21st.
Yes, April 21st is our next one, and then
And we'll be into May already.
yeah, man, time just be flying this year, dog.
Yeah. There's bound to be some time coming up. I know, especially deeper into the summer where we might not be as regular on Mondays, because I know I've got at least one vacation in there where I'm not going to be around the stream. So
I've got one vacation in there where I won't be around the stream also.
yeah. So we'll have to figure that out.
I've got
but,
one. No.
Brandon's
not.
like, I'm living a vacation. Fuck y'all.
Hey, when we decided to move, it was like, where are we going to move?
That's
Let's move
right,
to the place we go
Vacation City.
vacation every year. So
Yeah, bro.
Oh, we get to celebrate Marla's birthday in May. There we go.
Yay. Happy birthday, Marla.
Matt's going to sing for you personally. on
No, I mean, maybe. Probably not.
stream. Have you ever heard his singing voice?
It's
It is-
not good.
It's that of an angel.
No.
It is.
She may have once. There was one Christmas party where I unfortunately got to sink back that memory.
That was
There you
before I
go.
started
May
going to Christmas
24th.
parties.
Better get a Discord call.
There we go. There we go. Put it on your calendar.
Put it
All
on
right,
there.
y'all.
Love you guys. Appreciate all love and support as always. Make sure to join us the 21st for the next stream.
Yeah, boys and gals.
Hit up
All right.
Discord. Give us some topic recommendations and whatnot as well.
Yeah, we'll take topic recommendations, and then I'll put them in the garbage bin or whatever. I don't care.
Dang.
I'm kidding.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Tune in tight to the digital roar. Brent's got tech. He's laying the lore from circuits and chips to the cyber